guys, it's Shelly here. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me today. As you can tell from the title of the video, today I'm going to be doing a year in review for 2024. It's a tag that was created by Karen from My Colorful Country Life, and I've been meaning to do this. I did not get a chance at the end of the year, so yeah, I'm trying to catch up on all my videos, so hopefully you guys will still enjoy seeing it. We're still in January. Hopefully this video actually gets released in January, so hopefully you'll still enjoy watching this video. I did get a few requests from some subscribers to do a review video of my year, and I thought what better way than to use Karen's tag, and I'll try and remember to put the questions in the description box below for anyone else who might want to do a video on it, or for those of you who just want to look through the questions yourself and have a think about your year of coloring as well. All right, guys, so we're going to get started. So the first question, I'll try not to be too long. I always say that at the start of all my videos, but let's get going. So the first question is, top 10 favorite pages. Which 10 completed pages are your favorites from this year? Now, this was actually quite hard for me to pick. As you guys know, I try and make sure I enjoy every single page that I color. And for me, it's not always the end result. It's more the process of coloring that reminds me about a page or makes me pick a page as a favorite. And so I'm just going to pick the pages that I like the most, either what feeling I'm getting from the end result, or what I remember feeling like when I was coloring the page, or the color palettes, or something like that. So let's get going. So the first one I thought would be my favorite is from Rita Berman's Mind Research Africa. So her Africa book, her journey through Africa. And I've only done 2 pages in this book, but you guys know how dear this book is to me, and I'm okay with going a little bit slow for this book because yeah, I want to savor each page and I want to enjoy each page that I color. And this is the page that I think I really like. It does make my top 10. I loved coloring it. I love the color palette. I very rarely use yellows, and so just looking at so much yellow on a page, and yet it's still attracting me. I really like it. I have done this as a color along on the channel, so I'll make sure to try and remember to put it in the description box below, but if I don't, there is a playlist for this book up on the channel. The favorite part for me was the clouds. I don't know why, but I always keep getting drawn to that, because I think that when I did the coloring and when I put in those clouds, I was like, wow, that's just sort of so striking to me with all the other colors that are on the page. I think I remember using soft pastels, Tombow Jewel brush pens, my Artbrick Dura pencils, so all my favorite supplies, and I just enjoyed, and lots of Thule Art paint pens as well. And I enjoyed, you know, recording the video for you guys. I enjoyed coloring this page, and I love the end result. So love this page. So this is from Rita Berman's Mind Research Africa, and hopefully I've done only 2 pages in this book, and both of them are color alongs on the channel, so hopefully I'll try. I'm not promising that every page I color in this book will be on the channel. I cannot put that pressure on me, because then it won't be, I'll be stressed that I'm not coloring it for the channel, but hopefully I will try my best, because I've done 2 already. So the next one has to be a mythographic, and it has to be a Joseph Kattenbang, and it's Joseph Kattenbang's Mythographic Magical Earth. Now this one was done as a buddy color, and the reason it makes one of my favorite top 10 pages completed is how I rescued this page. So I did not picture this going on this page. For the background, I had just thought I was just going to do a plain green background, and I've shown this in my completed pages for 2024, and I'd used alcohol markers, and I'd gone for a green, a bright-ish green, like the one on the bottom here, but I'd done that for the entire page, and I don't know why I was thinking that that color would work, and I was trying to go sort of for a pastel background rather than a night sky. I'm not sure what I was thinking, but when I put down that green, I realized very quickly that there's other greens on the page. I knew that I wanted to do a turquoise pot to make it different from the normal terracotta ones that you would see in life. And so I knew about this color, and then I realized it's not going to all pop for me. And so I started using, I'm not sure if I used Derwentink 10s or Neocolor 2s, and I started working on the background, and it turned into this sort of darkish sky sort of background, but it works really well for this page, according to me. So it was just a fluke. It was not planned. I had no idea what I was doing, and I thought I'd ruin the page, but in my mind I kept thinking you can never ruin a page. Eventually, if anything, you can just go and put some black acrylic paint on the top. So just keep going and see what you produce. And that's what I produced, and I'm actually really happy with it. I love how it turned out. It has such a nice effect with that background. Because usually I find backgrounds challenging. So yeah, I was really happy with the end result then. So rescuing that background made it everything for me, this page. And I remember enjoying the process of just experimenting and saying, don't worry about it, you know, you can black it out if necessary. And so I wasn't stressed, I wasn't upset, I just kept going. And yeah, I enjoyed it, and I love the end result now. And I always love coloring on mythographic books, but I think it's easy to experiment because the quality of the books are really good as well. So it makes you just jump in and just play around on these pages. So yeah, I really like that page. So that's Joseph Kattenbang's Mythographic Magical Earth. The third page that makes my top 10 is from this book, which is by Kim Yoo Jin, The Day We Meet, or The Day We Met, or The Day We Finally Met. It's one of those translations, and it has been a book which has been in my collection for a while, but it's been intimidating me, and I just couldn't get myself to get started in it. It's a Korean illustrated book, and I finally managed to do one page in it, and it's this page here. And it makes my favorite because I think some of the pages in this book are actually quite challenging in the style of art it is. A lot of pages look like they could be quite realistic, and that they would look good if they were realistic. And it's not always easy if you don't have an art background to make things look realistic. And so I remember taking my sweet time on this page, taking it slow and trying to put in the effort, and still enjoying the process, but trying to enjoy the process of putting in effort to try and make certain elements look realistic. Now, not all of them do. So like, I feel like my trees look good in the background, but then some of them don't look so realistic, but it's okay. It sort of looks like a painting to me at the end, like a picture. But the part that I really enjoyed playing with was the water. I told myself that on this particular page, I don't do it so much on other pages, but this particular page, I was going to try and put in the effort of doing reflections in the water. I thought it would be a good page to do that. And so I played around with the reflections, and I was really enjoying that. And I like how it turned out. I think there's still lots of room for improvement, but I think that effect is there. And yeah, I just really enjoyed playing with the water more than anything. And I love the end result. So yeah, I definitely had to put this in my top 10. So that is Kim Yoo Jin's The Day We Met, I'm going to say. All right. Then I have an R.J. Hampson. These are not in any particular order, by the way, guys. I just tried to quickly pick out from, I still had my pile of all my pages completed in 2024 out, because I knew I was going to do this tag, and it's like all over my living room. And I was like, okay, let me look through the books quickly and see which ones I think are my favorites. So not in any particular order, but you'll be surprised that it's an Amazon book, but it is an R.J. Hampson. He's got me into these Amazon books now. So Lost and Found, and this was a body color too, actually. And it's this page here. And why do I like this page? It's a simple page, yet the reason I really like this page is, again, because of the amount of yellow I use. It doesn't come very naturally to me to use yellows for some reason. I find it very bright and very hard to work with and get good shades and things like that. So when I thought about going for a yellow background, I just went with it. I'm like, okay, again, just experimenting, go with it and see what happens. And I used alcohol markers, and I tried to do sort of a glow effect on the background, like as if it's the sun, using the blender pen to do that, the colorless Ohuhu blender. and I like the effect it gives. And then I just went ahead and kept experimenting. So I used alcohol markers, I used some Paul Rubens metallic watercolor paints for the trees here. Something I very rarely do is add embellishments with watercolor paints, metallic. It's not something I do that often. I usually use paint pens, metallic paint pens or glitter gel pens. But I thought it would be nice over here. And I love the autumnal feel. Even though it's autumn, it feels warm and cozy to me. And yeah, I just enjoyed playing with all these colors. And I used pencils. I can't remember which pencils I used. I might have used the Artex pencils, and they worked quite well on this paper. And I just love it. I just love the effect I'm getting from this page. So yeah, this one had to make my top 10, R.J. Hampson's Lost and Found. And then I have Melpomene Chatzipanagita's Circle of Life. As you guys know, she's one of my favorite illustrators since this book came out, and I think a lot of people love this book. And my favorite, well, I only did one in this book, was this one here. Why is it a favorite? Why is it a top 10? I just enjoyed it. I enjoy every single page that I color in this book, no matter what page it has been, no matter how far between pages it is in terms of, you know, I've taken a long break from the book and then I've come in and colored. I've still enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed my very first page in this book when I first got this book. When was it? I'll tell you, because the first page I did was this one. So in 2021, February 2021, 4 years ago, this book was released. So yeah, so this page here, it is a full color along on the channel. I use, in this book particularly, I use a lot of Tombow Jewel brush pens, I use my Art Book Dura pencils, and a lot of glitter gel pen for all those little details that Melpomene puts in there, which works so well to just glitter up. And I absolutely love the colors. Again, I've used yellow, so it looks like I need to try and use yellow more, because I'm just being drawn to all the pages that I've used so much yellow in. I'm just getting such a good feel from them. So the yellows and the purples go so well together. I love coloring leaves. I remember being so relaxed. I love coloring in this book because I find it quite relaxing, especially once you've figured out your color palette and just laid down all your colors with your Tombow Jewel brush pens, or any water-based markers. And yeah, so I really enjoyed it. And again, I love recording color alongs for you guys. And so yeah, it turns out that quite a lot of my pages, which are color alongs, end up being quite a favorite for me. So yeah, this one here. So that is Circle of Life by Melpomene Chatzipanagita. It was really hard picking my top 10 because I don't like to leave any of my pages out because I pour my heart into every single page I color, guys. All right, so then I have Hannah Carlzon's Jewelry Box. Now, from my completed pages of 2024, you'll realize I barely colored in any Hannah Carlzon books compared to the number of books of hers I have, which is really sad. But this page that I did do stood out to me. I remember really having fun. Again, I was experimenting on this page. I've gone for sort of yellows again as well on this page, I just realized, but it was the background. I played around with watercolor paints and I had no idea what I was doing. Again, I said, let me just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? And so I went for it and I love how it turned out. And I'm scared to try again with watercolor paints because this, to me, turned out pretty good for someone who doesn't know how to use watercolor paints, and I don't know how I did it. I wish I recorded it so I could watch myself again and see, okay, how the heck did you do that? So I'm gonna have to try and bring back that courage and try it again. But I think, again, I can experiment in Hannah Carlzon's books, especially her older books, because the paper was so good. So I'm not worried about ruining the next page and things like that. And it just inspires me to just play. So I love how this turned out. I love the color palette as well. And I love the little shine of the metallic watercolor paints I used as well. So yeah, loved how this turned out. That's Hannah Carlzon's Jewelry Box. Then I have a teeny tiny book here, Diane Dufour's Boule de Pois, and this one was, I joined, everyone in coloring this book a lot later, But so I've only done one page, but I did this page and I just had a blast with this page. I did not realize how much I was going to enjoy. I should have realized, because I know I love coloring on this paper. It's an art therapy book, beautiful paper to work on. And that's always the main factor for me, is making sure that I enjoy the coloring, like I said. And I used, I think, Derwent Inktense to do like a watercolor background. I based with Derwent Inktense. I used Artex pencils for going over the top, and they're so vibrant and it just turned out so beautiful. And I did all the rain effect, and I just love how it turned out. I like how my fur is. I like everything about this page. It's such a little teeny tiny page, yet when I look at it, I just have such happy feels. And I love the brightness of my mushrooms. So yeah, I really enjoyed this page. So yeah, I'm looking forward to coloring. I've always liked this book. I don't know why I took my sweet time to get it. Yeah, hopefully I'll get lots of more pages done. And I always like the autumn sections of pretty much any books we have in our collection. The autumn sections always grab me. So yeah, I just really like the autumn section. So many beautiful pages to color in it. So I'm looking forward to it. Look at that. So there we go. Boule de Pois by Diane Dufour. Then I guess we have another Melpomene, Chatsi Panagitu, Enchanted Earth. This was a buddy color too, and it was this page here. And this took me by surprise. I sort of had an idea that I wanted a glass tub, and then it struck. That's all I knew about this page. I had no idea. I've flipped through this book so many times. I've admired this page. I didn't know how to approach it. But when we did the buddy color, I sat down, I looked at it. I'm like, every time I flipped through this book, I saw this as a glass tub. And then I'm like, how am I going to make the glass tub pop? I need to figure out the background. And I decided to go really dark. I used distressing for the background, made it really dark, and then just worked on the foreground with my Tombow Jewel brush pens, my Albrecht Dürer pencils, and just had fun and put lots of shine with paint pens and glitter gel pens, and just again had a blast. Just enjoyed the process, and I love the effect I got. I got my glass tub. It's not the most amazing glass tub. It doesn't look realistically glass, but I'm getting that point across a little bit. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I just like how my colors just pop off the page because of that dark background. So yeah, I'm so happy with this page, and what I had pictured for the bathtub at least turned out the way I was thinking. So really happy. And yeah, so that's that page. So that's Melpomene's Enchanted Earth. And then I think have I lost count? Hopefully it is 10. I have Klara Markova's Magical Delights, and it is, where is it? This page here. I surprised again myself with this page. I just figured out what I wanted to do for the background. I used my Albrecht Dürer pencils to again do a watercolor sort of background. And then I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I went for neutral mushrooms. And I think the way I've colored the mushrooms, you guys know that I like to play with my shadows and highlights. I try and make things look 3D if I can. And I just feel like all these mushrooms just pop out. Like I managed to get that 3D effect. So I just love the effect of this side of the page. And I just like those pops of blue as well with all these neutral colors. Well, pink is not neutral, but you know what I mean. The little pops of color with the rest of the page being neutral just works really well for me. And I feel like I got a sort of nice, by fluke, sort of a nice light effect in that somehow this little bit just from there, sort of that bit looks a bit darker, and everything here looks quite bright, like even on the mushrooms. So that was by accident, but it works. So yeah, I just really love how this page turned out. Now, this, as I mentioned many times, this is not my favorite Klara Markova book. I'm glad I have it in my collection, and I surprised myself with how much I enjoyed coloring this page and how it turned out as well. So yeah, really happy with this page, and definitely makes my top 10. Way high up. Klara Markova's Magical Delights. Then, oh yeah, so this is number 10, but I have 2 pages for number 10 because I couldn't pick, and I don't know why I couldn't pick between these two. I don't even know why they're making my top 10. I just like them. That's it. I just like them. Maybe it was the coloring process that grabbed me to it. Maybe it's a color palette, but I just really enjoyed coloring this page. I love this book. This artist's art. This is the Tokimeku series, sorry. Mona, and this is Yoshiko Squirrel and the Residents of Antique Town. So the same series, different artists, same series as Makiko Inotome's Wild Mouse Yururi book. Yeah, and this artist's art style is just stunning, yet I find it intimidating again to tackle because of how beautiful the artwork is. But I did this page and I love how it turned out. Now, for the first time, I did not go crazy with my colors for the exterior wall of a building. I always tend to, I don't know what I think about, but I go for pinks and I go for turquoises and I just go crazy with the colors. I don't know why, because you don't see that often. So for the first time, it looks a little bit toned down, conventional wall, and I've made everything else bright. And it works. So I really, really like this page. I'm taking really long with question 1. Hopefully I won't take this long with the rest of the questions. But yeah, I love this page. I love the light effects. I love the balance between the darks and the lights, and it just all works for me. And it's an autumn page again. So really like it. Loved the process of coloring again on this beautiful quality book. Mona, Yoshiko Squirrel, and Residents of the Antique Town. And the final one was another Hanna Karlzon, In Seasons, my very first book that I bought of Hanna Karlzon, and I managed a double page spread, which is shocking for me. Now, I don't know why this is a favorite. Maybe it's the color palette, maybe it's just managing to get another double page spread done in a Hanna Karlzon book, one of her old books, after so long. Just the happiness of getting a double page spread done in this very first book of hers I got. This is one of my favorite pages in this book. So maybe it's just a combination of factors. So the fact that I enjoyed the coloring process, I enjoyed the end result, and just that the sense of achievement that I got finishing another double page spread in one of her books. And I love her series, of her older series as well. So it was just really nice seeing that I got this done. So yeah, I really do like this page, and I couldn't leave it out of my top 10. It's not like skill wise or color wise or end result wise the most amazing, but I think it's just how I feel about getting this double page spread done in this particular book. So yeah, that was, I guess, number 11, top 11. All right, guys, so let's see what number 2 in the tag is. I'm not going to take this long for all the other questions because there's not that much, hopefully, to show you guys. Number 2, most liked page on Instagram. Which of your colored pages received the most love on Instagram this year? Is this different from your favorite pages? Yes, it's different from my favorite pages because it didn't make my top 10. It is actually from Hanna Karlzon's Gaudiol. Now, I don't know if it's had the most likes on Instagram because it's Hanna Karlzon's newest book. So, you know, it grabbed a lot of attention because of the book it is, more than my completed page. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know. But the page that got the most likes on Instagram is actually this one here. The deer page. Now, I had a blast with this page. I did enjoy it and I love the end result. Yes. I don't know if it's definitely not one of my top 10, but I did enjoy it. I used Tombow Joe brush pens. I used my Artwork Dura pencils. I just enjoyed playing on this Swedish edition paper, which I've never tried before. I recorded this as a color along on the channel, so that is up there. And yeah, I enjoy it. I like my end result. I love the color palette I've gone for. It's not my favorite of all the pages I've colored in 2024, but it seemed to be Instagram's favorite. So yeah, that's nice to see. I also did this page. Where is it? This one. I called it Silent Night. I have done a color along in it, and I called it Silent Night on the channel. And there's a playlist for this book in case you're interested. And yeah, I called it Silent Night because it's just so peaceful. When I look at it, when I looked at it uncolored, when I looked at it colored, I'm trying to see which one I like more. It's really hard for me to pick, although this one won on Instagram, but I even like this one. So yeah, I wouldn't say this is my favorite. It is different to the favorites I have picked, as you guys can see. But that's the one that was a favorite on Instagram from Hannah Carlson's God, Your Beautiful Book. All right, then number 3. Goals set and met. Did you set any coloring goals at the beginning of the year? Were you able to meet them? Yes. So, well, just by chance. So number 1, the first goal I set for myself was complete the year with less uncolored books than I started. Now, I've just recently in December done a video on all the uncolored books that I have remaining at the end of 2024. I started 2024 with 48 uncolored books, and I had told myself that I'm not going to put a limit to me buying books because they make me happy and I like variety in my collection, and I will eventually hopefully color them. I'm very picky with my books now, but I will color them, so I don't put a limit as to saying I'm not going to buy anything. But I did say to myself that I must end the year with less uncolored books, so make sure you're coloring in all your books. And the only reason I did achieve it, but the only reason I achieved it was because I did a de-stash in December. Again, there is a video on that. And I de-stashed 10 books that I was not getting any happiness from. I didn't like flipping, like I wasn't really flipping through them. I wasn't coloring in them, or my coloring style has changed. And I just said, I'm not picking these books. I've not picked it for the last 2 years possibly, or I didn't like the paper in the book. So there were reasons. You can watch that video, but I de-stashed 10 books. So that brought me down to ending the year of 2024 with 47 books. I guess it doesn't matter that it had to be with a de-stash that it brought me down, because at least I met my goal, I guess. Is it cheating? I don't know. So I started with 48, I ended with 47, so just one less. All right. And then the only other thing that I did say was I was going to try and work with watercolor paints, which I did do a couple of backgrounds and a couple of pages with them. And I did not work with watercolor paints as much as I would have liked, but I did some. So I did a couple of simple pages in this book, which is a garden watercoloring coloring book, Korean illustrated, and I've shown this recently in my completed pages of 2024, and I just saw it and I've lost the page now. Oh, there we go. I did this little bit. At least I played with watercolor paints, right? Even if I didn't work with it as much, at least I tried more than I think I've done before. So, but I still feel I need to work with them more, obviously. I did this page here. And I did this background here in Karolina Kubikowska's Memories Postcards coloring book. That one. This is a nice page. I like this page as well that I colored actually. Watercolor paints for the background. And Derwent Inktense for the rest. So really enjoyed that. And then I had just shown you Hannah Carlson's jewelry box, which is this one where I did the background. So I played around with a bit of watercolor paints, but I don't usually put big goals for myself when it comes to coloring, because this is a hobby and we have goals in life for everything else, targets, things like that. So I don't put too much pressure on myself. But those were the two things I sort of had at the back of my mind, and I sort of achieved them. All right, number 4. How many books, books colored. How many different books did you color in this year? Okay, so that number is around roughly 60. I tried to count all my books. Hopefully I've counted it right, but I colored in 60 different books this year. I tend to color in 1 or 2 pages in each book. Like my way of coloring is trying to touch every single book of mine or every single artist, and so I end up doing usually 1 page in a particular book. So I have more variety than coloring in different books than I do in one particular book. So yeah, 60 books, different books I colored in. Number 5, pages colored. How many pages did you color this year? Did you set any personal targets? How many do you average a month? Okay, so like I said, I never set a goal for anything when it comes to coloring, but definitely don't set a goal on the number of pages that I color, as it's a hobby for me and I want to enjoy the process. I don't want to put the pressure of trying to get a particular number done a month, even though I know my most popular video is my completed pages each month. But even then, I do not put that pressure on myself. I like to enjoy the process. So no, I do not put any sort of targets. And yeah, the most I did this year in 1 month was 9 pages, which is a bit embarrassing when I know how many pages some people color. But I would say I average about 7 a month. 7 for me is a good number. 9 is a very good number. 5, yeah, that's okay. At least I manage 5, but 7 I would say is average. And what is my total in 2024? I colored 82 pages. So that's not bad. 82 pages and 60 of them were in different books. That's actually pretty good for me, because I like touching all my books. All right. But I have 175 books in my collection. So even if I colored 1 page in each book, looking at the number of pages I did, which is 82, I'll never touch every single book in 1 year, unfortunately. That's a sad thought. But anyways, number 6, community participation. How many buddy colors or hashtags did you do? Prompts and challenges did you take part in this year? That's a difficult one for me, because when I first started my coloring journey, I would actually list down all the hashtags that were going on Instagram, and I would actually choose my pages according to the hashtags and try and get every single hashtag done. But that was when I had a lot of time on my hand. Now what I end up having to do is pick my pages, and hopefully some of those pages will meet some hashtags on Instagram, and if they do, I sort of put it through for that particular hashtag. So I do not really have a tally or any kind of record. I have a record when I do a hashtag. I'll tick it off. I list all the hashtags that are available each month, and I'll tick it off if I've entered it, but I would not be able to go through my entire coloring journal to count how many hashtags I've done, unfortunately. Same thing with buddy colors. I haven't been very good with it, because usually I don't take on that many buddy colors, but I would say I've roughly done about 10 buddy colors this year, which for me is more than I've probably done in a year. So that's pretty good. Again, I don't take on too many, because it does put a little bit of pressure on me to make sure that I get a page done, and pressure in a hobby for me is not always that good. I think there's also pressure, like, you know, I want to put videos out and things like that, so I don't add any more pressure to myself. But 10 buddy colors, so that's good. And I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 set up already for this year. So not bad actually for this year. All right, number 7. Is it 7? How many works in progresses, so WIPs, do you have at the end of the year? Okay, so I have 6. I'll show them to you. The first one is Alessandro Fusi's Mythographic Dreamweaver, and you guys have seen this many times before. I don't even remember if I did not start this in 2024. I think I started this in 2023, and it's still sitting like that. It's still in my desk drawer, because I don't usually have that many WIPs that last this long. Yes, I have WIPs, but they do not last this long. So I still have this one to try and get done. I do not mind how it's looking. I like how it's looking, and it's going to look nice when it's done, for me at least. I don't know why I've stopped and I haven't got back to it. So hopefully it's still on the back of my mind. It's still right here in my desk. I think when it comes to my coloring, sometimes with the channel and trying to get color alongs done, trying to get nowadays, sometimes I do buddy colors, things like that, the books I want to color, it just sort of keeps getting pushed, and that's why I still haven't completed it. So that one is Alessandro Fusi's Dreamweaver. Then I have R.J. Hampson's Lost and Found. I had actually started this page for myself here when somebody asked me to do a buddy color in this book, and I said yes, why not. Now usually I do not do another page in a book if there's a WIP in it, so that it doesn't get left undone. And I actually liked how this was going, but because of the buddy color, I decided to do the buddy, which is this one I just showed you, and I'm glad I did. So now I'm going to have to eventually get back to this, but I'm not going to keep it like as a go-to book at the moment. It's not going to be in my desk. Eventually I will get around to it. I know it. So Yeah, but that's a whip. Then I have Melpomene's Enchanted Earth. This was a whip from last year's winter. Last year meaning at the beginning of 2024. I would have done the background and then just not had time to color it because we went into spring. And so hopefully I will do it in this winter season. So I have that whip. Sometimes I do a background just because I feel like, you know, sometimes when you're in the mood to do a certain thing. So sometimes I'm in the mood to do a background, or I'm in the mood to do a portrait. I'll go and do it. And so I remember just feeling like I want to do some backgrounds, and I'd done a few backgrounds, and this was one of them. And I don't always call it a whip. I'll just leave it, and I know that when I come to that book, the background's done and I'll do the page. So when I've only done a background with no other, I'm not put any other thought into the rest of the page, I don't usually call it a whip. I know that's silly, but just so that I don't put that pressure again on myself that you have a whip, you need to get the whip done, because with the background, yeah, I'm just thinking that page is ready to go for the coloring. So I have pulled it out as a whip though for this year because I do feel like coloring this page now, and so I'm calling it a whip for January. I don't have that many, by the way, of backgrounds done and just left, but yeah, sometimes I'm in the mood to do something and I'll do the background and then just leave it. So that is Enchanted Earth by Melpomene. This is in my little desk drawer so that I can get to coloring it. Then I have Kanoko Egusa's Enchanted Animals Special, Coloring Heaven. And I had started this a little bit late. This was supposed to be a buddy color. My buddy, I think, didn't get round to it. I think was having a slow time with coloring, didn't feel like coloring or something like that. And I too sort of started this page a bit late, and then I decided, okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. I was just playing around with the Staedtler pigment pens, which I had just got. I think my husband had bought it for me for my birthday, which is in November, so we're going into winter then. So I was playing around with that just for basing. So now again, this is a whip. I do not think I'll be coloring it until the autumn season. So this will be kept aside for autumn, hopefully 2025, and not longer than that. So that is Kanoko Egusa's Enchanted Animals Special. Are you guys excited about her new book? I don't know when it's being released, but I'm so looking forward to it, even though I've not colored that much in her books. Then we have Clara Markova's Little Secrets from My Fairy House. I started this page. It was picked by the random picker for this winter season, and I chose a Christmas page because I really felt like coloring it. I should have known that because I was traveling, I wouldn't get a chance to do it. I was not going to take this book with me when I traveled, and I didn't, but I started it before traveling, and this is all I got done. I think I'm going to try and keep it. I asked in my completed pages for December 2024. I showed this as a whip, and I asked you guys, what should I do? Should I get it done now, or should I leave it for maybe Christmas in July? Most of you who did answer that question said leave it for July, so that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I do it in July. If not, then Christmas 2025, I have a page started, so that will be good. So Clara Markova's Little Secrets from My Fairy House. And then I have Kirby Rosan's Mythomorphia. Now this I did do in February 2024 for the first one page of the double page spread, this one. But it is a whip because it's a double page spread, but I had made a conscious decision that I was not going to complete it as a double page spread at that time, just so I could color in other books. And I have started it now. I have started coloring it for this winter season, and hopefully I will get it done. January or February. January, you know what, guys? I haven't colored anything. I haven't completed even one page in January yet. It's proving to be a very busy start to 2025, and there's a chance I might not even have one page done for January. Let's see. But that's the whip, and I have started the second page now. So really looking forward to getting that spread complete. There you go, guys. So those are my 6 whips. All right. That was number 7. So number 8, untouched books. How many coloring books are still untouched on your shelf by the end of this year? So I did a video in December for my uncolored books. So I'll try and put it in the description box below. And I have 47 uncolored books. Number 9, books completed. Did you finish coloring any books this year? Nope. And I don't think for many, many years to come I will. Because of my style of coloring, i.e. I love variety. I love touching all my books. I love every book in my collection now that I've done my D-stash of 10 books. And so I want to color in them. So yeah, I do not see myself finishing a book soon. Books completed. Number 10. Books added to your collection. How many new books did you add to your collection this year? So I added 45 books to my collection this year. I couldn't resist, and they're 45 beautiful books. All right, number 11, new release. Number 11, new release coloring books. What was your favorite or favorite must-have new release from 2024? Okay, so this one, I've literally just finished recording a video. I didn't even read these questions. I should have read these questions before doing a couple of other videos, but I've just recently done a video where I have shared with you guys my top 10 coloring books that I bought in 2024, which were released in 2024. So I will try and remember to put that in the description box below if it releases before this video, that is, and if not, then you'll watch it soon. Do I have a favorite from the 10? It's really hard for me. That's why I picked a top 10. To pick one book, all right, let me get a couple of books which I think might be good contenders for first place. Okay, so I sing about my mythographics so much. I love Joseph Kattenbang's mythographic books, and Wild Summer was one of them that was released in 2024, and I absolutely adore this book. I pretty much love every single page in this book. I've only colored one page in it, but looking at this book, I know that I may never get every page completed, but I would love to get every page completed. Just look at these illustrations. His art style is just absolutely stunning. I love that he's doing more people. She's so beautiful. Look at this page. It's just amazing. And just looking at the artwork inspires me. Even if I don't get around to coloring it, I just love sitting and looking at my mythographic books, especially Joseph Kattenbang's. I can flip through them a million times and not get bored. I'm just in awe of the kind of talent that artists have, some artists have, and Joseph Kattenbang, like, he just keeps getting better. So yeah, I would say this is, it was in one of my top 10. I did this page here. It's one of my top 10, yes. It's very hard to say what my favorite is. Look at that one. I love this page. But yeah, I think it's a good contender for first place. The other one I really like is Paula Brune's Faune Fragile. Now, I love Paula Brune's style. Again, I love the quality of the books. I love the illustration style. And I know that, again, one day I would love to get every page in this book done. Every single page, even the ones which are very simple. I just like the art style. I know I want to get it done. I only did this page, a simple one, yet I enjoyed every single second of it. Look at how beautiful the illustrations are. So even the simpler ones, I think there's one, even a teeny tiny one at the back here. Do we not have? Yeah, even that teeny tiny one, I want to color and I know I'll enjoy it. So yeah, I think maybe the mythographic, these two are good contenders for first place. Mythographic just gives me a whole different feel when I flip through them though. But I would say maybe one of those two. Let's not spend too much time. It's hard. It's hard, guys. All right. So that was number 11. I'll make sure I put the video for the top 10, my top 10 that I would not want to miss out on. And maybe if you like similar tastes to mine, you may not want to miss out on in 2024. So I'll put it in the description box below. Okay, number 12. Favorite coloring supplies. Which coloring supplies did you reach for the most this year? Any new discoveries or old favorites? Well, it's not an old favorite. It's an all-time favorite. As you guys know, any of you who have been on my channel will know my absolute favorite will always be my Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer pencils. I started my coloring journey with them and I'm still very, very loyal to them. And I absolutely love them. And even if today I still only had those pencils, I would still be happy. Even though I've been exposed to so many different pencils and mediums, I would still be happy with just my Albrecht Dürer pencil. So those are the ones that I reached for the most, definitely. But I also tended to use quite a lot my Inktense and alcohol markers, really enjoyed using them. And my new discovery this year was oil pastels. I didn't use it that much actually, but it was a new discovery for me. So I would say oil pastels. Not my favorite medium, definitely not my favorite medium, but it was fun playing with something new. Number 13. Most reached for book. Which coloring book did you work in the most this year? Now, when you guys watch all my completed pages for 2024, you will realize that I only get 1 or 2 pages done. If I'm lucky, 2 pages done in a book, but usually it's just 1 a book. That's why I've colored in so many different books. I'm trying to look for my book. 1 second. Everything is all over the place. Okay, so the one I colored in the most would be this one here, Matchstick Mouse, a winter coloring book. And majority of them were at the beginning of 2024 and 1 at the end of 2024. So it wasn't like I was reaching, for the book throughout the year. So it's nothing like I kept reaching for it because I enjoy coloring it. It's more, it just happened. So I did 1 page, 2 page. So this was December. The other one was, this was December 2024. That one was February 2024. 3 pages, January 2024. 4 page, February 2024. And I think there's 1 more, isn't there? Isn't it? Oh no, maybe that's it. 4 pages, is that right? Okay, so yeah, 4 pages. So the most colored in book, I think, is this one. I'm just trying to think if did I get any other book in 2024 of Matchstick Mouse? It would be, 1 second, let me just check. Okay, yes, I've just checked. So I did have Springtime as well. I only did 3 pages in that and 4 pages in Winter. And the rest of my books was 1 or 2. I guess Hannah Carlson's was 3 as well. Godjo. But yeah, so Matchstick Mouse, Winter. All right, then number 14, most challenging page. Which page gave you the most challenge this year? How did you approach it? So, as I've already mentioned, it's this one here, Kim Yoo-jin's The Day We Met. And to remind you, it's this page here. Most challenging because, first of all, just getting started on my first page in this book was very intimidating. It took a big step for me to get started on this page. And then the fact that it was, I was trying to do it realistic. It doesn't have to be, but I wanted it to look slightly realistic with the water, or look like a painting or a work of art, basically. Maybe not realistic, because I don't think I've achieved it as realistic, 100% realistic, or hyper realistic, if that's the word. But I feel like it does look like a painting. And how did I approach it? I just took it in little bits. I knew my aim on this page, like I said, was to try and work on the water and water reflection. So I colored everything else first, figured out what my colors were for everything, and then I did the water last so that I could bring in those colors for the reflection. And I remember taking my time. I added the clouds. I remember doing the path. I took my sweet time, just adding the little details. Now, like putting little, grass bits in the middle of a dirt track. All those little bits, only I know how much time I took trying to work on certain elements on this page. And so there is a little bit of, quite a bit of effort I put in. Although I was enjoying it, I was putting thought into this. I was not just going with the flow like sometimes I tend to do and just say, okay, now what color? Yes, I didn't plan everything out. I looked up the flower. I tried to go for the colors that it should be. And I just did it slowly. I tried to figure out what the trees right at the back should be. Try to reduce the detail that you can see so that they do look like they're in the distance. So little things like that only I know I was thinking about when I was coloring. just makes me think that this was a challenging page for me, and I just put in so much effort into it. Whether it comes across or not, I don't know, but I'm happy. So that's the page I would say was the challenging page for me this year. All right, number 15, coloring book surprise. Was there a book or page that surprised you with how much you enjoyed coloring it? And yes, there is. And you guys have probably heard that before. This is Lalita Aya's Enchanted Creatures. It's a new artist that came out for us in 2024. And why is it surprising? Because it's a Zendoodle book. For those of you who know my coloring will know I don't usually do mandalas other than Melpomenes. I do not like patterns. I do not find them inspiring. I do not have the patience to color repetitive sort of pattern sort of elements and doodle elements. And so to get a book like this, it was sent to me for review, but to get a book like this and think, okay, how am I going to approach this? I don't know if I really like it or not. So it was really surprising that when I colored my first page in this book, which was this one, it was really surprising as to how much I actually enjoyed it. Now, I didn't color every single little detail, and that's probably why. And I just went in and block colored and just did my own thing. And I really, really enjoyed how it turned out. So it just surprised me with how much I actually enjoyed it. And I did the second page, and that was this one here. And again, I really enjoyed it. And even though I look at certain pages and I'm like, really, how am I going to approach that? Like, for example, if I look at, which one shall I give you an example of? Because some of them now, when I look at it after coloring those two pages, I'm like, that's not bad. Okay, this one maybe, even that one's not bad because I'll probably block color. But maybe I can look at, which one was it? So something like this one, when I look at it, I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to tackle it. But I know after coloring the first two, when I sit down to actually think about the page and see if I'm getting any inspiration, I'll figure it out and it's going to look beautiful done, because the art style is absolutely stunning. And I love that there's no Zendoodle on other parts of the page. So yeah, it surprised me that I liked a Zendoodle book. So yeah, Enchanted Creatures by Lalita Aya definitely took me by surprise how much I enjoyed both the pages I colored in it. Number 16, videos made. How many videos did you create for your channel this year? I only did 93. I try and aim for maybe, at least at the beginning of the year, I was managing roughly 2 a week. But it's closer to the latter part of the year, I think sometimes it did drop. But usually I try for 2 a week. Number 17, favorite video you made. That was your personal favorite video you created this year and why? So my favorite video was the random picker, the very first, well, actually every random picker I'm doing now, I really enjoyed it. But the very first one, I just thought about, my husband actually gave me the idea because I was like, oh, he sees me there sitting down with my 177 books out and looking and flipping through the books and trying to figure out what to color. And I keep saying, I don't know what to color, but that's only because I want to color in every single book. I'm not fast enough for that, as you guys know. And so he always says, you can't choose pages like that. He's like, why don't you just try and pick randomly? And then that came to mind and I tried the random picker. And the day I tried the random picker, I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed actually recording that video for you guys and seeing my reaction to, oh my God, it's this book, like it's the first book I bought, or, how am I going to pick a page from my very first book? Has my style changed? Things like that. It was just so much fun. And now every time I do it, it's always a surprise because you don't know what book will be picked. And because I like the idea of coloring in every single book I have eventually, like just touching in every book and having a variety of coloring, it works for me. So I really, really enjoy my random picker videos now, and I think a lot of you guys do too. Hopefully you guys continue to. So number 18, your coloring routine. Did your coloring habits or routine change this year? I would say yes, definitely changed this year. As it is, I don't get that much done. However, my son started school, so primary school this year in September, and he goes to school for more hours in the day than he did when he was in daycare. However, when he comes back from home, I like sitting with him and doing learning, recapping what he's learned from school. So I spent quite a lot of time with him with regards to not just playing and doing activities and stuff, but actually learning and things like that. And so on my days off, sometimes in the evenings, I'm a bit tired, so I don't end up coloring. Definitely on my work days, I do not get any coloring done. My day starts early, it sometimes ends quite late. And then, you know, it's bedtime routine, things like that when I get home. So on my days of coloring, my days of work, I don't get any coloring done now. And on my days off, I do have other stuff to do for work, like for my profession that I need to keep up with. Then I'm doing house stuff, I'm doing cooking, I go and pick my son up, it takes me I try and get a walk in, so it takes me 40 minutes to pick him up. So I feel like my time has basically reduced a little bit, which is absolutely fine, but it just means that my coloring routine, my times for coloring has reduced. And then along with putting videos out and things like that, yes, definitely my time has reduced, and so my number of pages I'm getting done recently has reduced, but that's more the latter part of the year. All right, number 19, new techniques learned. Did you learn or experiment with any new techniques this year? What were they? So yes, I did. Like I just showed you, the watercolor painting. I haven't done much watercolor painting. I still haven't, you know, watched any videos to learn how to do it, but I was trying to figure out myself, so I did a little bit of that. And then the other thing I did was the oil pastels, and I have shared a video with you guys regarding my favorite technique for using oil pastels now, and I can show you the actual result. I've shown it to you recently, but so I showed you a video and showed you how I do this sort of effect with the oil pastel. So yeah, this was a new technique that I tried figuring out and playing with, and I liked it. So I think I will be using it in certain style of illustrations like this one. I think it would work really, really well. So oil pastels as well. 20, inspirational artist or colorist. Who inspired your coloring this year? It could be a professional artist, a fellow colorist, a community member, or even a family member. Oh boy, this is a difficult one, because I think as a colorist, I get inspiration from a lot of places. I look at Pinterest, I look at Instagram, and you see lots of artists and colorists, you know, showing their work, and you get inspiration from a lot of places. But I would say 100% the coloring community has given me the most inspiration. I think the hardest videos that I find for me to record and fit into my life schedule are color alongs. Although I love recording them, it just gives me a different kind of motivation to get a page done as well. So I do really enjoy doing color alongs, but they are the most time consuming videos to do for me. And when I see you guys following along or sharing parts of it that you've colored or got inspiration from me, whether it's a different page you've colored, but you got inspiration from one of my color alongs, it just, and you email it to me, you guys put it on Instagram, it just means so much to me, and it just makes me keep going, and it makes me feel like recording these videos are totally worth it. Even if just 2 people follow along, it just makes me feel like, yes, at least it, you know, it made someone want to follow along and they enjoyed it, and that's fine. So I think 100% the coloring community, and even if you don't follow along and you've tried a how I color video and put it into one of your pages and things like that, it's inspiring for me to try new things as well, and to share it with you guys, just because, yeah, I'm able to, I'm on here, and so it just inspires me to keep sharing. And yeah, I would say I get many subscribers and followers who contact me, and the words they share with me just makes me feel like coloring is no longer a sort of solo or personal hobby anymore, and that's absolutely fine. It's basically, they reach out to me and it just makes me feel like I am coloring with people, and I am reaching out to people, and I'm able to interact with people, and so it's definitely been motivating. So yeah, thank you to all of you. Whenever I question whether I want to do this whole YouTube thing, sometimes it does come to my mind because of the time it takes, and it does come to my mind, but then I realize from all the messages I get, and sometimes even one comment suddenly will make me feel this is why I'm doing it. And yeah, it keeps me going. And so thank you guys. And then of course we get lots of inspiration from colorists on YouTube. And unfortunately, I love watching videos on YouTube, and I'm quite religious with it, but in the latter part of the year, I don't know what has happened. It's just that the latter part of 2024 just disappeared for me. And I'm actually still, it's strange, but I'm still trying to catch up on YouTubers' videos, colorists' videos from October 2024. I haven't finished watching some people's completed pages of October 2024. That's how far back I am at the moment. But a lot of people's, especially completed pages videos, really do inspire me. And just seeing how everyone else tackles their coloring month, I just love watching it. And then even on Instagram, there's so many colorists who do not have YouTube channels, and they're just doing such beautiful work. And it's hard to name everyone, because I think everyone, just seeing people color is inspiring me, to be honest. And just seeing how many of us there are in the community is just so motivating. Yeah, I don't know if people still realize how big adult coloring has become. But yeah, I think I'm digressing. I can't even remember the question. Okay, let's go to number 21. Memorable coloring moments. Any special or memorable moments related to your coloring journey this year? That's a difficult one, to be honest, guys, because for me, coloring is my downtime, and it's time away from work and everything else. I enjoy every page, or I try to enjoy every page I'm coloring. And I try and slow down and just enjoy every moment. So it's a bit strange to say that I can't really think. I think the only thing I can think of is when I had some procedure done in my eye and my eyes were blurry. And even at that point in time, I still felt like I needed to color. I wanted to color. And have I got the book out? Yeah. You guys will have seen this, but this page here, whenever I flip through it, I remember that it just showed me how important coloring was to me, that even when I could just see everything as a blur, I wanted to still color. And it was just bringing me joy just to sit down and color, even though I couldn't really see what I was doing. But yeah, I don't think there is anything, like I'm never going to finish a book, and nothing, massive like that. With regards to coloring, I think. Yeah, I would say there's nothing stand out. I love every page I color, and there's nothing that is making me think that, oh yes, this is the one moment that I really, treasure from my coloring journey this year. Okay, number 22, coloring community reflection. How did the adult coloring community impact your year? Any collaborations, friendships, or inspiring moments you'd like to share? Oh, this is difficult. It's sort of similar to my inspiration and my motivation, really, that I think the coloring community impacts me every day, from since the very first video I released, almost 3 years ago now. And this is why I'm still here. There are just so many beautiful people that contact me, whether it's by comments or by Instagram or on email, allowing me to sort of share little glimpses into their lives, not just their coloring lives, their own lives that they've shared with me. And I'm just so touched to find out how many people value my company, and it goes the other way as well. It's the same for me. I value each and every one of you and your company. I don't want to get all mushy here, but it's true. I know that when I'm recording a video, like right now, I'm talking to myself, but then I get the emails and I get comments, and I get Instagram messages, and I'm just so grateful that I'm in a position where I'm getting company back, and I'm able to give some company for some of you who have told me how important some videos are for you guys. So thank you. And yeah, I don't know how much, I'm not very good with words. I don't know how else to show you my appreciation for the community. Hopefully my videos show that to you guys, because yeah, I do love making videos for you guys and spending this time producing it for you guys. And in return, I get such lovely messages and stuff, and it's just all worth it. So thank you guys. Over with the mushy moment. The other thing I would say is, yes, I've met a lot of new people this year through the buddy colors. Like I said, I don't always do buddy colors, but there have been quite a few people that reached out this year, and I said, okay, let me try and go for it. And it's been so lovely interacting with new friends, and it's been a nice year of coloring. Even though it's become busy and I do it less, it's been a nice year. So thank you. All right, I'm getting to the end now, guys. Number 23. For those of you who like my long videos, hopefully you're enjoying this. For those of you who don't, I apologize. I'm apologizing too late because you won't even be here. Number 23. Looking ahead to 2025, what are your coloring goals or plans for the upcoming year? Any new techniques or projects you'd be excited to explore? Books you're hoping to complete, etc. Okay. I would say end the year with less uncolored books than I started with, definitely. So we know that I've started the year with 47, so hopefully it'll be less than that. I know I'm going to be buying new books, but I need to make sure I end with less. I haven't bought anything yet, actually, in December or January, guys, so far. Then try and learn more and work more, I think, with watercolor paints and maybe even with oil pastels. So those are mediums I have now in my collection and I don't use that much. So that would be nice, I guess. I'm not going to hold myself to it, but if I get the inspiration to, I will try and make sure I play around with those mediums. And I definitely won't complete any books, guys. I won't, but maybe what I could do, and I saw this with Karen's My Colorful Country Lives video on project books, maybe I will pick a book that I want to try and do maybe more than one page in. As you guys will have seen from my completed pages of 2024, that I literally do one page a book. Maybe I should pick out just one book that I try and tap into a little bit more, whether it's for myself or on the channel. If I do some videos, I won't put pressure on, I have to do each page on the channel, but maybe I should try and pick a book for myself that I might try and color in more than one page this particular year. Not a Matchstick Mouse, one of my favorite books. Books that I'm itching to color every single page in, like I just showed you, a mythographic maybe, because I have so many mythographics and they give me, I don't know, they really inspire me, and I love flipping through them, and the happiness I get flipping through them when they're empty, I think I'd be even more happy when I see them colored. So maybe I could pick something like a mythographic or something like that I get more pages done in rather than just a book. So I'm going to think about that, and I'm going to look through my books again and try and see if there's a book like that I would like to do. All right. Okay, number 24. This is the last question. 2025, new books or products. Are there any new books or products you really are looking forward to in 2025? Yes. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll put them on screen here if I remember. Melpomene Chatzipanegitu, for sure. Dream Voyage. I can't wait to see what she produces in that book. Kirby Rosan's Dark Fairy Tales, his last couple of books, Alien World and Mythic World, unfortunately I did not get because of the theme. It wasn't really, not even the theme really, but some of the illustrations for me were too much, such big double page spreads, and I knew that even though I absolutely adore his artwork, I can remind you that my very first adult coloring book was actually a Kirby Rosan's book, Animorphia. I absolutely adore his art style, but I can't color every single one of his pages. So hopefully Dark Fairy Tales will be right up my alley. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what that book is, because it's been a while since I've bought a Kirby book. So I'm itching to buy one. Kinoko Gusa, I don't know if has she got a name for the book yet, but I love her work. Again, I know she's coming out with a book, so I'm hoping that book will be nice. I don't think I have a cover to put up here. Mythographics. I love my mythographics, as you know, and Joseph Kattenbang is coming out with one book called Dragon Spell. He keeps getting better, so I'm really excited to see what that book is. And Fabiana Atanasios Fantasy Forest, looking forward to seeing what's in that. And then obviously there are some other artists in the mythographic series, which is a hit and miss for me, so I'm not sure until I actually see flip throughs for those ones. And then RJ Hampson, surprisingly, I do love coloring his work. I've realized one of his pages were a top 10 for me, and it was not just a top 10 for me with regards to end result, but just the enjoyment I got from coloring his page despite being in an Amazon book. So I am so intrigued with what else he's coming out with, because I do love his books now. I love his illustrations. I don't own all of them, but I really do like it. And I think he had announced a new book. I haven't got Hide and Seek yet either, but yeah, I remember he just recently mentioned something about working on a book. He works on many books, so I'm looking forward to that. And then, to be honest, I always do look forward to seeing what the next Johanna Basford book is. I have never bought a Johanna Basford book, guys. I love her work, but it's not my style of coloring. Her illustrations are not usually my style, but I always wait to see what her next book is, to see whether that one will be the one for me. And I know she's coming out with a new book this year, so I'll be checking it out again and seeing whether that might be the book for me. So I always look forward to seeing her new book. I never get them, so hopefully one will come out which will be perfect for me to try out, because I know how many of you guys love Johanna Basford as well, coloring in it. It's just, yeah, a difficult, her themes are a bit hard for me to tackle. But yeah, products, I don't know. Do we ever know what new products are coming out? I never know what new products are coming out before they're out. So yeah, I guess I don't have a list of products. All right, guys, I will leave you to it. Sorry if you had a lot of just looking at my black desk, but more than anything, hopefully you are coloring while you were listening to me chat. I'm just going to put a few books. I should have done this a long time ago, rather than just looking at a blank screen. But I'll leave you guys to it. This has turned out to be a long video, but I really enjoyed answering all these questions. So thank you, Karen, for creating this tag and helping us to figure out how to review our year of 2024, because I wouldn't know where to begin. So thank you. And thank you guys for watching my video if you're still here. And hopefully I'll be back with you guys again soon. So until then, take care. Thank you for watching, and thanks for always being there.